Welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this sanctuary and time, and that you're here is something to celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors. We'll be waiting to chat with you at the welcome desk after the service. Remember, we were all newcomers once, and if you're joining us online in the chat, please say hi. We now invite everyone to rise and greet each other.
Will you make sure to say your name before you do your, I'll write it in here.
Yeah, okay.
Good morning. I have just a few announcements, and by that I mean stewardship length of announcements, so there'll be a few minutes. First of all, SMUUCh is making progress on our plans to install solar panels. Please, Please join Phil Hannon and Bill Roush after the service in the sanctuary for a brief update today if you're interested at 11:45 after the service. And now we have an announcement from Allison.
Good morning. The Women's History Room is open for 2 more weeks. That's in room 26. If you haven't seen it or probably not experienced all of it yet, even if you have been a time or two. This week we are honored to have the local artist that created the wonderful paintings in the room with us. Her name is Patty Streeper, and she has devoted her time to strong women of the past, making portraits of those. She will be in the room from about 11:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. Now is the time to ask her those questions that you have about the depth of character and colorful portraits that she has on display. She uses her work for educational purposes in schools, churches, libraries, and civic areas. Please join us in the room after the service for a conversation with Patty Streeper. Also, almost as important, there will be cookies and brownies. So.
All right, now we have an announcement from Fisk Miles.
I'll bet some of you are wondering what's in this bag. It looks like a camera bag, I know. But in fact, it is the 2026 SMUUCh Chili Cook-Off Trophy Carrier. And the trophies will be unveiled in the Fellowship Hall after service when the cook-off winners are announced. So, thank you, everybody.
All right, if you would please change the slide. Today we are going, one more. There we go. Today we're going to celebrate our wonderful religious education staff as our stewardship highlight, and I would like to start with Kevin Roberts. If you would please stand over there, Kevin. Kevin, come on, Kevin. He raised his hand. Wow, he raised his hand, everyone. Kevin is both a parent of children in our RE program, as well as an incredibly faithful, dedicated, and down-to-earth advocate for our youth. He grew the program back up from COVID when he and one youth met every Sunday for many months And now we have over 20, and we're hosting a huge youth conference here at the end of April. So big round of applause for Kevin. And second, we have our junior high youth director, Shannon Jansen, if you would please stand. Shannon was a youth in our youth program, and now is not only our junior high youth director, but also our dungeon master of the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that she made centered around our UU values.
Okay, we are going to talk about Michaela. Michaela, could you please stand up? Michaela runs our kids club, which is the 2nd through 5th grade. And Michaela she stepped in when I stepped up to this position, and has literally just been such a joy. And she even has little friends that are constantly calling her name and needing her attention. And we're just really grateful for Michaela.
And then last, but certainly not least, is Celeste, who is currently with our little kids in her classroom, including my kid. Celeste is our longest standing employee here at SMUUCh. She's been here for 20 years, and she's raised so many of our children, and she really flies under the radar, but she is such a steadfast, kind, skilled, loving person who's really an institution in our church. So if you are ever so lucky to see her, be sure to congratulate her. She'll be very embarrassed. Yeah. All right, would you please go back to, and I would like to invite one more. Yeah, Hannah Barfoot forward, thank you.
Good morning. I am so excited to share a new group at SMUUCh that I am calling the Postpartum Village. If you are growing your family through birth, adoption, fostering, or guardianship, we want to be your village. We are organizing meal trains and in-home visits for families with infants, and we are not going to be super picky about the definition of an infant, okay? If your baby is not a baby anymore and you just need a little more support, please reach out. We want to feed you. We want to do your dishes, fold your laundry, entertain your older children, organize your toy room, and we want to do all of this while you sit on your couch with your feet up, snuggling your little one. We will follow your house rules and your boundaries. We will not give you unwanted parenting advice. In fact, we will tell you constantly how much you are killing this parenting thing because we all know that you are. If you are a family looking for that village, you can reach out in a few different ways. You can find me on Realm. My name is Hannah Barfoot. You can also find our group on Realm titled Postpartum Village. You'll see two groups on Realm. One is going to say volunteer group. That's for our volunteers. You can also come find me most Sundays at coffee hour wrangling my two kids. We are not limiting this village to just church members. If you've got a friend or a neighbor who could use some extra support, please reach out to this. If you know any families that are not here today, please let them know. Now, if you are someone who would like to be a part of this village and support our families, we're looking for more volunteers. If you're only able to drop off a meal every once in a while, that's great. If you're able to be a part of our in-home visits, that is great too. We would love to have you. You can find the volunteer group on Realm. It will say Postpartum Village Volunteer Group. And now I am going to transition myself over to my stewardship testimonial. My name is Hannah, and I'm a recovering Baptist. When I left my conservative church as a teenager, I didn't exactly miss it, but I did miss the sense of community that I previously had. If only I had known 20 years ago that a church like SMUUCh existed. My wife Crystal and I have been members of SMUUCh since the fall of 2024. When we enter this building, I feel a breath of fresh air. I feel the light, the warmth, the commitment. My children run to their class and are excited to return the next week. Miss Celeste is truly a gem. I love that I can raise my children in a community where no one will question their two mothers. I look forward to 10 years down the line, seeing them sitting on that stage with the rest of the youth, being fully themselves. When we first started attending SMUUCh, I loved what I was hearing up here from Rev Rose on Sunday mornings. And then I found out that we have a food pantry, a cold weather shelter, a community garden, and countless other outreaches. This church is taking action in big and small ways. All of this encouraged us to become pledging members of the church. I then decided to dive a little deeper and started getting involved with small groups. This is when I became a dedicated SMUUCher. If you have been visiting for a while, I highly encourage you to check out the small groups. There is something for everyone, and it is within these groups that you will find your deeper connections. I joined a Soul Matters group where I am learning to listen without agenda and where I am heard without judgment. I joined the LGBTQ group where I have found community with the generation who paved the way for me. In fact, it is the intergenerational friendships I have made here that mean the most to me. When the world is on fire, the sanctuary is a safe haven for so many. The work the church is doing cannot be done alone. In order to keep the lights on, the coffee flowing, and the amazing staff employed, they need us. I know so many of us are boycotting big corporations, buying local, and finding new ways to wisely spend our precious dollars. Making an annual pledge to SMUUCh is one of those ways where you can feel good about where your money is going. Crystal and I have increased our pledge for this year because we feel so passionate about the growth of the church. We pledge to SMUUCh because we believe in the work being done here. We also pledge to SMUUCh because what we get back from this community is so very priceless. The SMUUCh Stewardship Campaign ends on April 12th. As I have been told to remind you, April 12th is when we should have our pledges made. You can visit the stewardship table in the lobby or go into the Realm app by April 12th. Thank you.
And lastly, today is our second Children's Chapel. This will be held regularly on the fourth Sunday of every month, and it is for ages 0 to 18 and any of the parents or guardians of the children who are going to join. And after Time for All Ages, we will take all the children out, and we will be in the multipurpose room together. And now I will do the ringing bowl. Today, our call to worship is by our middle school youth group. They have offered us 4 quotes, and then we have a special poem to be read by a child himself. Our first quote comes from Luna Lovegood when she is speaking about Harry Potter. In a moment of him doubting his own reality, she says to him, "You are just as sane as I am." Reminding him that just because someone sees the world differently than other people, or just because someone experiences grief or loss or oppression, that does not make them less sane. Our second quote from our junior high group comes from who else but Spider-Man, who said, "With great power comes great responsibility." Truer words were never spoken. We who have power must ever more so be humble, grounded, grateful, and curious. Thirdly, we have a quote from a random raccoon who appears in a meme saying, "It's trash can, not trash can't." So next time you're feeling defeated, just say to yourself, "It's trash can, not trash can't." Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now lastly, we have a quote from Star Wars by Karis Nemec, who said that there will be times when the struggle seems impossible, alone, unsure, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. Remember this, they say, freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. And remember, the imperial need for control is so desperate because it is unnatural. Yes, this is from the junior high group. Tyranny requires constant effort. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. Remember this. And know this, the day will come when all these skirmishes and battles, these moments of defiance, will have flooded the banks of the empire's authority, and then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. And then they say, remember this, try. Remember this, everyone, try. And now, we have Luca Azar to come forward and read a poem that he has written.
A Tiny Turtle by Luca. A creature in the sand, awakened by the waves, following their heart to lead the way. As slow as a snail, foraging for the water, wanting to live for a greater purpose than what they do now, then once again falling asleep.
Come, let us worship. Please rise as you're willing and able for our opening hymn, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
As a junior youth group comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Could I please have all the children come forward?
I'm in 6th grade.
We are going to do an intergenerational art project led by the junior high children. Hi, you want to have a seat, honey? All righty. Okay, kids, why don't you all take one of these pieces of paper. We are going to create Alrighty, so the things that are being passed out to you are part of a little ritual that we are going to make together. Who here knows what a fidget is? A fidget is a thing of the modern era where you get to play while listening and do something with your hands. We knitters know that sometimes you pay better attention when you are fidgeting. So, let's talk a little bit about paying attention. Does anybody here struggle to pay attention sometimes? What makes it really hard to pay attention? Anybody have an idea? Hola. Anybody have an idea of something that makes it, yeah? My mind wanders, Gabi? Being tired. Somebody in the back, but I can't. Oh yeah, Annette? Distraction. What else makes it hard to pay attention? Nature. Just want to be outside. All righty. What makes you able to pay attention? What makes it easier to pay attention? Anybody? Yeah? You can learn when you're paying attention to your teacher, yeah?
If something is fun.
If something is fun and engaging, yeah? Somebody had their hand up over here. Anybody else? What helps you pay attention? Coffee. Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah. Interest in the subject. How about a deadline? A deadline makes you quick to write, says she who has a deadline every week. All righty. Okay. You should all have a little piece of paper and a pencil. And I have a question for Miss Shannon. You are going to write down something that helps you pay attention. Something that helps you pay attention on your little piece of paper. If you're struggling to write on a tiny piece of paper on a squishy chair, you are not alone. Does anybody want to share really quick what they wrote down? Yeah? My cat? Yes. Yeah?
I wrote
Engaging with the topic, yeah? Your dog? Yeah. Nature? What about some, yeah? Listening to a story, yes. My ADHD med, yep. Yeah. Music, listening to music, yeah. What'd you say? Decision? Yes, making the choice to pay attention, yes. Sitting in the front row. Now we know your secret, because you'd be asleep in the back row. Yeah. Being listened to makes you want to pay attention, yeah. Okay, so now we are going to make something that is going to end up in a perfect little star. How? I don't know, but Shannon does.
Yes. Okay, hi. So everybody should have your strip of paper,
and you wrote your what helps you pay attention on it. Also, every row or so should have about 2 visual instructions. We don't have enough for everyone, so we're sharing those. But we also have some middle schoolers that know how to do this that are gonna walk around and help as I'm describing. So if those middle schoolers that know how to do this want to go walk around and help right now, that'd be fantastic. Okay. So if you need help, just make sure to raise your hand real high. They'll come help and aid you the best they can. So I'm gonna verbally walk you through this, but I highly recommend you share those pieces of paper with the visual instructions too. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your strip of paper and you're gonna fold it so it kind of makes a little bit of like a breast cancer ribbon. And you wanna make sure that when you're folding it to make the breast cancer ribbon at the top, that the paper is folded around the back edge of it. So you want the top of the paper that is folded into the breast cancer ribbon at the top to be around the back edge of the long strip of paper. And you want to have one short end and one real long edge. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take your short edge of the paper, so this edge here, and you're going to fold it through the center of that ribbon to kind of basically tie it in a knot, and you're going to gently pull it tight. And what you should have is a long strip of paper with basically a little pentagon at the top. Make sure you flatten that knot so its edges are creased. You want a flat pentagon with a long edge, and you might even have a little bit of a short slip at the top too. Okay. Once you have your pentagon at the top with your long strip at the bottom, you're going to make sure that if you do have a little excess at the top, you either fold that in, so it is a flat pentagon with a long strip, or you can tear it off. Okay, now here comes the tricky part. What you're gonna do is, I know. You're going to take your long edge of the piece of paper and you're going to wrap it around the pentagon. What you want to do is you want to fold it, and it will kind of automatically guide you to which edge it's folding to. Each edge will be different. Basically, you are folding a flat little pentagon with this piece of paper. What? Yeah, you can go get some more paper. It's right here. When you fold each edge of the long strip of paper around the pentagon, make sure you're creasing, and it will kind of automatically go diagonal. So you're going around each edge. Not the same edge every time. Looks good. It's looking good. Okay. Now you should end up with basically a little 5-sided pentagon piece of paper. And I want you to know that all of us middle schoolers have practiced this a lot. We did not get it on the first try very well. I did not get it on the first try very well. So I want you to know that if you are struggling a little bit, you are not alone. It took us a lot of practice to make this whole bowl full. And we are teaching you this because it is a super fun way to fidget with your hands that's not super distracting to others. And we are really focusing in our classroom and just in our lives about how we can pay attention more and how doing things with our hands sometimes helps that. Okay, So you have your little pentagon piece of paper. Make sure you tuck the edge that is folded into any loose area of the pentagon so it's folded in and it's all concise. Then the final step, which I might have to use 2 hands for. Yes, thank you. You take your star and you're going to pinch the edges so that it makes a little pentagon.
I like looking at your guys' faces right now because everyone's looking like this. Ready? Look! Shannon did it. She did it. What? Yeah, it's trash can, not trash can't. Right.
And so what you're gonna do for this pinching part, this is probably our trickiest part. You're going to take your fingers and you're gonna pinch each corner so that you're kind of folding each side together into a point.
Wherever you are on your star journey, you are welcome here. It's okay. Whatever happened to you during Time for All Ages today is fine. Ooh, you're kind of making it look like an old bottle cap. There you go. All righty. We're going to wrap up these shenanigans, get these kids to Children's Chapel. And remember, the last quote was simply, try, which we did as a group. All righty. Let's go to Children's Chapel.
Now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Hi again. By the way, my name's Ellie Agnew. I forgot to mention that earlier. But each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is paying attention. Winter may be one of my least favorite seasons. Cold, harsh winds paint a bleak landscape, oftentimes shadows of brown and gray. The bitter winds make it quite hard to appreciate the graceful snowflakes visiting for a short while, giving all the more reason to turn away from the window. Despite this, it's impossible to not peek through the curtains every so often. Over the weeks, grass changes and trees evolve. Over months, the world seems to brighten up once more. Winter may be one of my least favorite seasons, but the weight it demands makes the sunlight so much warmer. Winter is vital to me, to my soul, because when ignored, fall turns into spring as if nothing ever happened. I value how carefully I must watch, because the process of waiting, of begging for the sun to shine once more, gives me a goal, and it gives me hope. Because of this, winter may be one of my favorite seasons to live through, because its finale reminds me of why I'm alive.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nayalisa Cuevas, and it is a joy to be with you again this morning. We come to this place to see and be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and to be heard. Now reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you. We are here together, gathered in peace and authenticity and intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows. If you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow, please come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences and light a candle.
We witness your life in all of its heaviness, in all of its brilliance, and we carry your joys and sorrows in a shared heart.
Let us take a moment to come fully into this place. Put your feet flat on the floor and take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable and relax into your chair. Allow your breathing to deepen beautifully. Wiggle your jaw and melt. Notice an area that is tense or tight and embrace it and say, relax. It's okay to relax. And let the bustle of getting here melt away and come into this space of holiness.
Here and now, hope is growing. Here and now, joy is blossoming. Here and now, love is blooming. Here and now, hope is growing. Spring is lifting up my spirit. Spring is warming up my heart. Spring is brightening up my days, giving all a brand new start. Spring is lifting up my spirit. Spring is warming up my heart. Spring is brightening up my days, giving all a brand new start. Here and now, hope is growing. Here and now, joy is blossoming. Here and now, love is blooming. Here and now, hope is growing.
Our first reading today is by Langston Hughes, titled Tired. I am so tired of waiting, aren't you, for the world to become good and beautiful and kind? Let us take a knife and cut the world in two and see what the worms are eating at the rind.
Our second reading is by Emily Dickinson, titled Hope is the Thing with Feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could have bashed a little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. I hate waiting. And as a kid, my mom used to take me shopping with her. And every time I saw the mall, I immediately had an inner experience of agony. I couldn't show it on the outside, but man, I knew my mom was going to take so long in the store. She would browse through every single aisle, and I would see her grab something, and I was like, yes, all right, it's time to go. Only for her to put it back and keep browsing. And the worst of it, she would spend like 2 hours in a store and come out with nothing. Nothing. And my little body was so frustrated because I hate waiting. And we probably have that person, or maybe it's us, in our lives who takes forever, and our patience is often tested. But some of us carry bigger burdens when it comes to waiting. Some of us remember waiting at the airport for hours because of a delayed flight. Or some of us remember waiting for someone to rescue us, only to find that no one was coming. Or some of us remember waiting for a loved one to turn their life around, but they never did. And some of us is waiting for justice to finally come, yet we continue to find that it's often delayed. And aren't we living in a moment where it seems like all there is to do is wait? Waiting to hear that the war has ended. Waiting to hear that we have new leaders in office. Waiting to hear that ICE is no longer in our streets or our neighborhoods. Waiting to hear that finally justice has been served. Or waiting to hear back from a potential job lead. Or waiting to hear from our loved ones. Doesn't waiting get tiring after a while? And doesn't it feel so heavy sometimes? So what do we do with the weight of waiting? And what is it supposed to teach us? Well, first, I think waiting forces us to be present. Waiting shows us just how heavy it is. Langston Hughes captures this truth so beautifully in his poem, Tired. And he laments how tiring waiting can be, but then he challenges the reader to do something. Did you catch it? He said, "Let us take a knife and cut the world in two and see what worms are eating at the rind." Now, if you were here with us last week, we learned the times in which Langston Hughes was alive. And they weren't the best of times, right? There was injustice, systemic inequities, segregation, racism, a lot like what is still present in our world today. And yet he said, while we are waiting, let's look at what is happening in our worlds, in the spaces that you and I occupy. What evil could be lurking? What inequities do we see? How can we make a dent in the boulder of injustice? And while the evils of the world seem so vast and so large, there is a world in which you and I occupy. And what are we going to do now as we wait for justice to roll down like water? Waiting shows us just how heavy it is. Because we as human beings are often thinking about the next minute, often thinking about the next hour, the next day, the next month, the next years, and we are in a constant anticipation of what comes next, that we often don't take in what's happening now. And some of you know the agony of job searching. It's awful, and I don't wish it on anyone. And yet I know that there are so many people in this position. It's been almost 6 weeks since I got let go from my job, and I had a lot of expectations on what this season was going to look like. Surely I believed by now that I would be working and moving on from the past 2.5 years of toxic work culture. And every phone call, hoping it's a company I applied for, or maybe a former coworker telling me that the boss has been fired. Every email, hoping that it's an interview offer, but it's just PetSmart telling me to buy dog treats. It's the weight of waiting. And in this season, I've had to make a dent into the boulder of racism in the workplace. I've had to sit with my pain and how this season has been so triggering. And I've had to look at the inequities of the world I occupy and pursue legal avenues of justice. Because sometimes the weight allows us to see that we've been carrying too heavy a weight. And being present looks like resting, because that too is an act of resistance. And waiting forces us to turn our attention to what is happening in our current moment, to turn our attention to what is happening here at SMUUCh. What evil is lurking? What weight are you carrying? What is your body telling you to do? So waiting teaches us the importance of being present. And what else does it teach? Well, lastly, waiting teaches us that hope is all there is left to do. In the stillness of the wait, we discover that hope isn't just a choice. It's the only thing left standing. Emily Dickinson captures this truth so beautifully when she says that hope has never asked a crumb of me. Hope is the constant force that doesn't go anywhere, no matter how bad things get. And it doesn't ask anything of you or of me. You don't need to be anything to grab onto it. And even when hope feels lost, it never asks for us to find it. Why? Because whether we hope or not, it is still there, left standing. And many of you know that I am a huge sports fan. And however, I'm a Chicago sports fan, so that means I'm used to losing. So when Micah and I first started dating, we would watch baseball games together. And when the White Sox would be losing like 1-0 in the first inning, I would immediately start to spiral and say, "See, they truly suck. We're gonna lose." And Micah would try to interject, but I wasn't trying to hear it, right? So I would cut her off and say how the game is about momentum and the other team has it, and I just knew we were gonna lose. And one of these days, when I was spiraling, Micah looks at me and says, "Why do you always think they're gonna lose? Why do you always expect that they won't win? That's probably why they're losing." And I would get so annoyed when she would tell me that. But then I started to understand what she was trying to tell me. I tried so hard to prepare myself for the disappointment of losing, because the pain of hoping for things to work out or go my way seemed more like a letdown. But what I've come to find is that hoping for my team to win didn't cost me anything. Because if my team lost, then okay, they lost. I'm used to it. But if they win, doesn't hoping make that win that much sweeter? Friends, I know that in our current reality, it is safer to believe that it's all bad and in the end, we all die anyway. But what if the not yet is waiting for our hope? What if that family at the ICE detention center is waiting for our hope? What if that neighborhood that is steeped in redlining and food insecurity is waiting for our hope? And what if the visitor who walks into these doors, who has given everything they have and they still have nothing, is waiting for our hope? Because as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said shortly before his death, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Thank you.
There's a lot of favors here. Here we are. Okay. The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values. Let us affirm that we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise as you are willing and able for a closing hymn, number 134, Our World is One World.
Our world is one world. What a
This week, may you dare to hope. Go in peace.